All right, welcome to Forgotten Legends of Sound. Today we are doing a favorite of ours, at least two of us.
I was gonna say,
This is Sonata Arctica's Unia. This is an album that I feel like is kind of underappreciated in today's world. At the time it came out, I felt like it was pretty daring for Sonata Arctica to kind of like throw off their traditional power metal kind of roots and try something more experimental, more progressive. But to be fair, at the time, I hated this album. And then it started growing on me. And the more I listened to it, the more I was like, man, this thing is just layered with so many cool ideas. Like when you have songs that are changing constantly, it's hard to grasp it all at first. But then whenever you've given it some time, I don't know, the melodies are infectious. The lyrics are really cool. I don't know, it's just a really cool album. So we wanted to just share this album just to kind of talk about it, kind of... share our thoughts and everything. So, do you want to?
Yeah, I'll take it away. So, just first up, Unia is an album that we love, but we love their first four albums as well. So later on in the channel, we probably will do their other stuff, the more beloved albums. But like today, we're kind of jumping into the most experimental album from Sonata, and I like how. At the time when this came out, like I was with you, man. I did not like it. I was like, what the heck? And it really had to take a lot of time to grow on me. But I don't know, it was a weird time for us because we were also getting into a lot of avant-garde stuff too. And so I think for us, we were like, wow, power metal, but they're actually willing to do something unique. And so we were intrigued. Like, we hated the album, but we were intrigued by it still. So we kept listening to it until finally it clicked, And I like how, reading information on where the album came from. And I guess like Tony Kakko was like in a library just reading up on like old dreams and stuff from way back when or whatever. And I was kind of like, okay, Unia is like the Finnish word for dreams or whatever. And I was just kind of like, okay, this could be an interesting album, and to think of it as more of like this kind of strange, I don't want to say dream-like, but yeah, like kind of adventure. It just... Yeah. I feel like you have to approach this album in kind of a different way versus like a normal album, But yeah, I do love this album. I do think it's probably in my top 5 albums from them. But yeah, not much more to add, But like I said, we will probably do more Sonata down the road. But yeah, anyway, so I'm excited to jump into this album.
Yeah. And what do you think, Chad? I know you haven't really listened to this one, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts?
As far as the band goes, I know I do like the band. It's not like one of my favorites or anything, but I've listened to them on my own. I've seen them live with Ian. This album I'm not familiar with at all, even though I know you guys have played around me. I think we even went through it. This is gonna be pretty new for me, so we'll see what happens.
We should start calling our channel Forgotten Legends of Bias. Because I know there's going to be songs on here that Ian and I are going to be like, 10, but like, let me just first off say that, if this isn't like your cup of tea and everything, that's okay, What we're trying to do is, for this channel, we're trying to highlight certain albums or bands or whatever that we feel like kind of gets a bad rap. So it's like, if you have your own reasons for not caring for something like this, that's fine. We're talking to the people who maybe dismiss it without really knowing, without giving it a shot,
And we're talking to the people that love it too.
Right, sure.
Oh, that's sick.
Like, and I do think that like this is an album that, you do have to, give your time and attention to, and then you'll get more out of it. So I'm just saying it's definitely worth jumping into.
And this is an album too that I think reading the lyrics also helps for it. Yeah. If you haven't gone through it with reading the lyrics, I'd recommend doing that. I think Sonata Arctica in the early half of their career, like the first 10 years, I think they made some of the best music in the scene. Like they were just, I don't know, they really blew me away. And although I feel like they've kind of lost a little bit of that in the most recent stuff, I'm still super impressed by just their output in general, and I think that they're a fantastic band. It's funny as we were reading the news today that I guess they were working on a new album, and they were talking about going back to their classic power metal roots and fast songs and stuff, and I mean, if they do that, but for me it's like, that's fine as long as you make good music. you know, because I like their progressive period. I also like their old school power metal stuff. More of their hard rock kind of stuff is like my least favorite. Yeah, out of their stuff, like Talveo and Stone's Grow a Name are like their two weakest albums for me.
Right.
But everything else they've made, I've been super impressed with. So I'm not feeling 100%, so I'm not like able to be like super excited and stuff. But this is one of my favorite bands like of all time. Like they've made so many timeless songs, awesome lyrics. The musicianship is fantastic. So, and this is the last album with Jani Limitainen on guitar, and some of his guitar stuff on this album I think is phenomenal as well. And I just love how when bands who are not used to doing a certain genre take a stab at doing a genre, that creates something interesting because they're going at it a super different way. So I feel like these guys weren't like, we're like, you know, prog metal, you know, we're not creating tons and tons of prog metal stuff, but the fact that they're bringing all those elements into their sound and actually pushing themselves. I remember Tommy Portimo saying like, yeah, the drumming was harder on this because he actually had to like pause and then time it out and work with like timing instead of just sitting there to like throughout the whole song. Like that was easy for him, you know, like because it was like different muscles that you're training to do this kind of music versus just super fast and shredding kind of stuff, you know.
That stamina.
Yeah, so I think it's an awesome album. I'm excited to go through it.
I agree, and definitely support the artist, guys. Buy the album, you know, if you're into it. And I'll add one last thing before we jump into the ratings and the lyrics and the music and everything. One last thing I want to add. I kind of get the impression that this is Tony Kakko's kind of ode to Queen album. I feel like Kakko has said that like Queen is one of his favorite bands, and that he wanted to see them and everything back when Freddie Mercury was still alive and everything. And I can't help but get this feeling that like this album was really Queen inspired or something. It's just on steroids. You know what I mean? Like Queen isn't this like technical or adventurous or whatever, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if that helps, you know, whoever's like watching and everything. I don't know if that helps if you kind of view this album as sort of like Queen on steroids, if that might help get you into the right frame for this kind of album. Because if you're coming into this album as a power metal guy, you're not going to have a good time with this album. Like you got to approach it a little different. So maybe that helps. Maybe it makes it worse. You know, who knows? But you know,
we're here to
find
help
out.
or to hurt.
You know, whatever.
So we're doing the 2 bonus tracks. They had 2 bonus songs, one for Japan and one for Europe. So we're doing both of those along with the regular album. But should we just get started with the first song?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, alrighty. Let me get this iPod working now. So this is In Black and White, the first song on this album, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope we enjoy too.
Yeah.
You know?
Hope everyone enjoys.
Hope everyone enjoys it. You know,
Just have a good time.
Why can't everyone just enjoy it? Alrighty, here is In Black and White.
Face. Your life is black and white.
Ding. All right, Ian. You first, man.
That one is one that I used to give like a 10. I don't know if I could give it a 10 today, but I really love how they open with that whole doorman at my death row and then ending with that. It gives us such a powerful ending. The whole like wake up screaming the name of your nightmare and then wake up screaming the name of your doorman at your death row.
And then you got the wow. I like that.
It's an epic way to end it, you know. The song has like a good kind of feeling of like, I don't think paranoia is the right word, but it has like this sort of like, well,
I view it as like scattered thoughts and scattered impressions. Like okay, you know that song "Sweet Dreams" from Heart? I like the lyrics in "Sweet Dreams" a lot because in that, you guys know where I'm going with this? You guys don't know where I'm going with this. No, anyways, in "Sweet Dreams," like they're talking about, you know, these dreams, you know, and everything. And in the lyrics they say like, it's funny how your feet never touch the ground. And they're talking about how like, you know, places where like, you know, words are actually music and like, you know, going through like walking through mirrors and stuff. It's all about the oddity and it's all about the fantasy and everything. And so I feel like the lyrics in this album is a lot more scattered and it's much more impressions, like you are in a dream where things are not going to make sense all the time, but you're moving from like moment to moment.
It doesn't feel quite right, but it's still happening.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like this song is the song that you wake up and your heart's racing and you're like, you're just like, oh, it's just a dream.
Because like, dude, like it's funny because we were like, read the lyrics and you'll appreciate it better. But I feel like reading the lyrics, you might be even more confused.
I just got more confused.
You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for my turn.
You know, and it's just kind of like, I think this album is designed to be scattered thoughts. Like, it is kind of just a weird bamboozle of different impressions and ideas and things, you know?
In some ways, I feel like this album is similar-ish to Blind Guardian because Blind Guardian will go off of so many different, like, melodies and stuff. Like, the verses are not, like, traditional, here's a verse, chorus.
Right.
It's like, doing this melody, then we do this melody, then we do this, now we're jumping, doing this melody, and then finally get into the chorus after, like, a minute of doing all of these sort of different, like, idea acrobatics, I guess. And this is kind of the same way. Like, you know, they go through so many different ideas before they get to like a chorus or something that's going to actually repeat in the song. I think I'm going to give it a 9.5. I still think it's a phenomenal song. But I don't think I'd give it a 10. What do you think?
I'm going to give it a 9.5 also because, there was a time that, like, dude, I played this song a lot. And every time, you know, he'd be like, wake up then, you're screaming the name of the doorman. I thought, like, because at the time I was like, holy crap, man, this is awesome, you know? And just that kind of reverberating again and everything. It just... I don't know, but like you really have to enjoy the journey with this song, and I understand if someone couldn't.
And I do like that this album, Days of Grace and Reckoning Night, are kind of the more darker Sonata Arctica albums, you know? Whereas some of their other stuff is like lighter sounding and mood and stuff. And I kind of like when they go darker in sound and darker in like content and stuff, you know? I think it's kind of cool. But we've been talking for a while. What do you think?
What did you think of that one? Kind of an oddity, huh?
No mercy, huh?
No, dude, I'm just at the point, like, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I would have went through this before we did this, because there's almost nothing sticking about that song. Except for, like, the little twinkling noises at the beginning and the end. And for those of you who don't know, that's when I first started hearing keyboards, I called it twinkling noises, so...
The keyboard stuff. And then like in black and white, because when you think of black and white, you think it's either this or it's that. But then they have all this other stuff going on in the song. I'm fudging lost. Lyrically, musically, that was just... It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. I want to say, man... I would definitely listen to it again, though. But, like, as a first impression, I want to go with, like, a 7. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but...
That was actually higher than I thought it'd be.
I thought it'd be more like
I thought it'd be like a 5.
6.
Well, I was thinking 6.5, but I was like, 7, because I could see myself listening to it again.
It was interesting, but,
but
there's
nothing stuck. And exactly.
I did think the guitar solo and that keyboard coming in, that was great soloing. And, one issue that I have with some of the newer albums, I feel like some of the soloing is very lifeless, but they still, like, you know, and then like then you got some you know, like I'm just like, yeah, you guys are like on top of your game, you're going for it and everything, you know. It just, you know,
some of the newer stuff, they'll have weird transitions where they're like a melody, then they'll just and then they'll just
It's just like it's a little strange.
Yeah, this song still, I feel like it flows. The
Yeah.
transition to each part is pretty cool. Yeah,
definitely ambitious.
It's not a song that anybody's gonna get a lot out of first listen, which I didn't get. Like, I was just like, man, where's the freaking choruses? Where's like the free white pearl, man? You know, I was just like, but now I'm kind of just like, this is so cool because it's so different. You know, if I'm in the mood for like older Sonata, I can listen to older Sonata. If I'm in the mood for prog Sonata, now there's prog Sonata.
Right.
That's kind of my view on it. You know. You guys ready for the next song? This is Paid in Full.
Yeah.
This is like
single.
the single on the album. So gonna be the more straightforward kind of song. Here's Paid in Full.
So I hope
difficulties, but
We got the gist. So
yeah.
Yowzas.
Your turn, Kevin.
Yeah, I this album's strange because it's like, what is a 10 for like this album? You know what I mean? It's I know there are some songs on here that I am gonna give 10s and everything. You know, this one I'm not sure. I'll do not well. I'm thinking like a 9.5 for this one because I do like this song, but I do feel like it's a little bit like meandering a bit. Like not a lot of strong emphasis on certain parts, but I don't know. But then when they do emphasis, like, you know, I mean that's emphasis. I don't know how to rate this one, but maybe I'll wait. I'll see what you guys have to say. But you know, I enjoy this song and everything, but it's never been my favorite on the album.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think, Chad?
just one of those classic Philly Tony Kakko love songs. I did like the lyrics, even though it's kind of like, I guess you could say corny at times, but I mean it's true. So, man, and just kind of having it more straightforward. The chorus was awesome, just great chorus. I'm gonna go with an 8 on that one. I did like it.
It was definitely easier to follow than track 1.
Yeah,
that's
a lot
for sure.
easier.
Yeah. I'm think I'm gonna give it 10 for this one as well. Well, or I mean as well. I thought you were giving it 10, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm kind of undecided. What are your thoughts on this one?
I feel like for what it is, it does it really well. Like, I like that whole piano melody and stuff. It's pretty catchy. And the keyboard solo, like, Henrik is freaking... Henrik is kind of the star of this song, you know?
Right.
All the different piano melodies and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I like the whole message of, like, you know, if you can't, like, love yourself or whatever, have any self-esteem, you can't really, like, spread love to other people or whatever.
No.
Like, you got to learn, like, kind of... You know,
and
heal
just like
yourself first or
learning and
something.
growing through relationships, getting to know other people, changing, staying the same, just all those kind of things.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool. I think I like the lyrics. I think it's a cool song, and it's a song I don't really get tired of. Maybe 10 is a bit too high, but one problem
This is Forgotten Legends of Bias. Right?
Yeah, that's true. One thing is, like, today was kind of an off day for me, so it's like I want to do this because we can't do this like
whenever
we want, right. You know.
We all
so
work.
It's like, yeah, we all work and we all have different schedules, so it's almost like whenever we can do this, it's like, yeah, we got to do it, you know. So I know that I'm less enthusiastic as I am on other videos and stuff, but. So I feel like that's clouding my judgment a little bit, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, man, this is really good music, and I really love this album. I think I might be a little bit harder on it today than other times.
Right.
Because other times, yeah, and that's okay. Other times, I'm just like blown away, and I'm like, oh my, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, you know, but yeah, I'll go a 10 this time, but you know,
it's kind of funny. So there's this like Finnish guy that I met and everything, and I was all like, you know, because I was into Sonata Arctica, and I was like, do you like Sonata Arctica? And he's like, who are they? And then I was just like, you know, Sonata Arctica, you know, they sing this and that and whatever. And he knew of one song. He said he had a friend that like knew him or something. But then I was just like, so like, what is like Dream is Alive? You know, tell me, can you say that in Finnish? And I was like asking him to teach me a little bit of Finnish words and I don't know why I'm sharing this with you guys right now, but I figured
it's like my twinkling story.
Yeah,
I could have left that shit out.
It's just kind of like we could do a straight review and analysis and talk about the songs and leave it as that, you know. But that's the thing that, like, when I check out other YouTube channels, I want to hear random stories and things.
Yeah.
I want to hear, like, I don't want someone to just tell me what to think and, like, you know, this is actually the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's those actually people. It's
Like,
kind of like it's
like,
nice getting the information, but it's like
I think there's two types of information. There's like factual information, but then there's also kind of like, I don't know if emotional information is right, but, you know, stories of people, how it affected them, so on and so forth. This isn't like freaking like dates of albums and you know, what are all the band members' names? It's none of the, you know, there's information on it.
yeah, Tony Kakko.
You know, like, and so anyway, so I remember him telling me like, Dream is Alive off of like the cage, like he was like, oh, that's like Unelma Ela'a. And I was like, oh, cool. And I used to write that down
on the letters
on a lot of, I would write you a letter back when we weren't living like near each other, and I'd put Unelma Ela'a, you know. And the reason why I like that Dream
I wrote The Dream is Alive. I didn't spell the finish, you know.
And of course
I forgot about that, actually. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And of course he taught me, like, you know, Kitos and Epakesta and stuff, you know, like thank you and you're welcome or whatever. Like just very basic stuff. So I don't know any Finnish or but I like that statement of Dream is alive just because it was a call. Like I would tell my friends that as a call to encouragement and optimism, because a lot of us were going through a lot of crap, you know, like life, family, whatever. And it was just, I tried to write that down and especially
as like
for
a
you,
brotherhood.
As a brotherhood, stay strong, brother, you know, we'll get through this crappy time on earth or whatever.
I was like, the dream is alive.
And so, you know, anyways. And so
I've got another insider Sonata story.
Yeah. So like I like Unia, you know, I like Dreams, I like Sonata, like I hope that they mind the arm, lad. They had a lot of really cool fantasy metaphors, but that could be interpreted to like your life and everything. And they meant a lot to us back in the 2000s, you know. And you know, over the past like 10 years or so, I feel like they've lost a little bit of that. But yeah, all right, I'll put a 10 for Paid in Full because like I don't see much wrong with this song. It's just that I don't know. Like maybe back in the 2000s we had much more of those like rose-colored goggles where we were like, oh, Sonata can do no wrong. And it's like, well, they're not perfect, you know. They're not perfect musicians or whatever, you know. But like they definitely made a big impact on us. Like and so I don't know. It's hard for me to like. You know, we're judging this album how we feel about it today, but I'm also remembering stuff from the past too. So, anyways, what do you got, Dad?
Well, maybe I should save some Sonata stories, you know, because like for like other albums and stuff. Yeah. But the one that popped in my head was our dad gave us the 82nd Airborne Division patch order.
Yeah.
It's like our family is a military family, and the 82nd Airborne Division has that same kind of like loop with the, you know,
the two A's,
like the two A's or whatever. So he was like, "Oh, you guys like this band?" And like, "Here you go." This because he thought that they're like, you know, he thought that they copied the symbol from the military or something, you know. And anyways, we're like, what are you talking about, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that symbol right there. I wish I have the patch somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Do you have a copy of it in your wallet?
Really?
Yeah! There it is, yeah.
All right. Yep.
Kind of cool.
True blue, man. I keep this patch, and it's funny because, like, this isn't no, like, oh, like stolen valor. You know, I've had this thing... I've had this, you know, thing in my wallet for basically like 15 years or whatever. Ever since like
I usually like drop it out of my wallet at restaurants that they pay for my meal. No, I'm joking. I never did that.
But this is the 82nd Airborne Division for the United States military.
But it was just funny because our family members were all military and stuff, and you know, that was just kind of cool that, you know, our dad gave us that as like just like a little memento or whatever, you know, kind of cool. So, you know, stories aside and whatnot, like, Sonata Arctica is a band that we've been into for a long time, you know.
So,
like big
anyways, Kevin, after you embarrassed yourself by holding on to that patch for 15 years, let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, no, I still keep guitar picks in my wallet, you know, like I have guitar picks sitting in there, because you never know when you gotta play guitar, like there's an emergency, and they're like, this person was in a terrible car accident, quick, play Stairway to Heaven for them, you know, and then I'm like, I gotta pick, guys, you know. So, anyways, I'm waiting for that. You know, I'm waiting to save someone's life with my guitar pick.
You'll send them to heaven.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a lot of history with this band. I've seen this band probably like 7 times or something. So it's like, what can I say? We're biased.
We're biased.
You know, whatever. But like,
make fun of us. Yeah. just make fun of us already. Like, just we've listened to this crap out of this band.
In the comment section, just say like, "Come on, guys, come on." You know.
Yeah. Anyways,
it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all fun and games. Are you guys ready for The Sake of Revenge?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. Here's For the Sake of Revenge.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird one.
Yeah. The video or?
No, this song.
Oh yeah, no, the song is. The whole album's really weird, but it is cool.
We have been stuck in here a day, seeking answers for all eternity or something. Hear the meaning speaking in me.
That bass.
Have faith in me. Have faith in me. I cannot say that I am fine and take all you say at face value. I talk to you more than I have. Have faith in me. Have faith in me. I talk too much today. You don't trust me, so I keep on talking in every way. Across the sea, I hear you calling me. For the sake of revenge, you command me. They say over, it's never over. Till the fat lady sings, you love me. I am tired, yet I am swimming. You will not let go of me, you are drowning. As you quietly pull me under, we will never make it unless you let go. There's no crime, yet I stand accused, and I see the solution naked before me. You reduce me to a weapon unlike you. Have faith in me, have faith in me. I cannot hear though I incline my ear. Why do I even try? I've told you all about what I am. Have faith in me, have faith in me. I'm feeling weak today. Please don't crush me. I keep on walking far away. I keep on rolling away. I'm feeling slow today. So don't rush me. We do this wretched serenade. You keep me waiting anyway. Across the sea, I hear you calling me. For the sake of which you will command me. The sake over, it's never over. Till the fat lady sings, you love me. I'm so tired, yet keep on swimming. You will not let go of me, you are drowning. Now you're quietly pulling me under. Oh, so quietly pulling me under.
All right, Chad, this is yours to begin on this one.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like, it's kind of a bummer, man. And like, it's that, like the weird, that noise.
The bass, the
Yeah,
low
it
bass,
sounded like it's like screwing up or something, but
like electricity.
yeah, like electricity.
Ooh, true. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
man. Yeah, this one's probably actually my favorite so far.
Ah,
I kind of had a feeling you would like this one. Like I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just, I'm a sucker for that sad crap, man.
Yeah, it's. Well, you go.
Dude, I'm giving that one a 9.
I wanna say something
like
too.
That. I really like that one, man.
What do you give it?
9.
9? Oh, okay.
yeah. That's a song that when I first heard this album, that was the one that I used to like the least. Now I kind of like it the most. Well, not the most. Like I don't know,
yeah.
It's
but
up
like
there,
it's
though.
up there. Like it's a
Yeah.
fantastic song, and I like this feeling of like being defeated, and I like the whole like there's no crime yet I stand accused. You know, I love that line because it's
Yeah.
kind of like when you're like insecure and you feel like everyone's pointing the finger at you. But you've never done
fuck did I
anything
do?
wrong, and it's all in your head, and you're just
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
there's something about this song that
And
I
I'm
feel
feeling
like,
weak. Please don't crush me.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, it's a very human song. It's a
Yeah.
very like vulnerable sounding song, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and I kind of like that. I think that's really cool, you know, and it's kind of unconventional, I guess, you know. This isn't like freaking Elliott Smith, you know, like "Din-din-din, I'm feeling weak today. Don't crush me."
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like that. Grant, I like Elliott Smith too, but it's interesting for Sonata Arctica to do this song that's so vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that's like that described it really well.
Yeah.
Vulnerable, just
But it's fueled by like the bass line and like the drummer kind of just going along. Like there's not a lot of guitars. The guitar's not there for times. Keyboard is more background, so it's more bass and drums.
Yeah.
You know?
Turn me into a weapon unlike you.
You know, it just, I don't know.
It's an interesting song, and I think it's pretty cool. And the way it builds up the whole, you keep me playing anyway, across the sea, I hear you calling me. I don't know, I think that's really cool. Revenge you. I always thought it was weird the way he said that. The first time he'd be like, for the sake of revenge you, and then they'll say that, for the sake of revenge you. You know, it's like, why'd you do that? What? This is like, this is hard enough to remember how these songs go, and then you just make it even harder.
For the sake of revenge, you it's like sneaky.
Sneaky.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give this song a 10 too.
Super fast little moment there.
It's funny because man, like I think like when we just started this video and started this album, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I like love this as much as like I did back when I was younger or whatever. But then, like track 3, this song, I was like, I still love this album. Like, what can I say?
This album, I like the lyrics in this album a lot.
Yeah, and it's such an unorthodox album. You know, I like all the weird stuff and everything. It's different. You know, so I won't add much more. Otherwise, we'll be here forever.
Yeah, That's a good point. Good point, Kevin.
But like I'm already drawn into this album now because of track 3. I feel like so.
Yeah, and to think about this album too is I've thought about what would be different if they started it differently. You know what I mean? Like I still think like In Black and White is a great opener.
Oh yeah.
But the structure of this album is so weird. Like I feel like they're like, well, let's put the most simple songs at the beginning. Paid in Full. What are the other simple ones? For the sake of revenge, you know, we'll put that one in the front, you know, and then they're like, let's just make sure we put all the tough stuff, you know, like that,
Fly with the Black Swan.
Fly with the Black Swan.
My dreams but a drop of fuel for a nightmare.
Put that in the back so that people are not turned off like right away and don't know how to get into the album.
Dude, if they started the album with My Dreams But a Drop of Fuel for a Nightmare, I'd be like,
dude, that would have been ballsy. This is already a ballsy album, but that would have been really ballsy. Started off with like freaking, I don't know, like Device would have been kind of a cool opener too.
Yeah.
The weight
that's
years
the Harvest.
On me, or the Harvest. Yeah, but the Harvest would be interesting. Yeah. Sorry, I meant the Harvest. Yeah.
It's okay.
But I don't know. It's a weird album, and I think that they sequenced it as best that they could. Like I don't have any problems with it, but I'm like, for such a weird album, how do you sequence an album like this? You know, with such weird songs. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Chad? Or are we just?
I mean, I'm not like, I don't have as much experience with this album as you guys do. Yeah. But I know, like, I remember when you like rearranged those Darkane songs in that album. That sounded pretty freaking cool. Like listening to it like that and how they led into each other.
Yeah.
So
I remember I did.
You might know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember I did Chaos versus Order as track 1, and then like that led into like something else. And it was just. I
mean, I don't remember, but I remember being like, oh,
Yeah, kind of cool. That was something I did on my free time, like as a hobby. I would, because you know albums are sequenced a certain way. I would change the sequence because I wanted a new kind of listening experience with an album. So I don't know. That was always kind of fun to do that with different albums and stuff. And I did it with a lot of Sonata's albums. Anyways, more mindless, you know, things to just. We're fucked. We are fucked with this, man. Like, gosh dang, like. Dude, we're doing number 4.
I feel like our channel is like in the beginning we're like, you know, we want to be like off the cuff, you know, fun and whimsical. And now we're totally freaking off the rails with every because like, you know, it's like at first we're still like nervous and we're still just like, oh well, let's try and do this and that. Yeah. Now we're just like,
Well, it's funny because like none of us are like professional camera people. None of us are very like photogenic. we're like,
Definitely
we're just like, but we love doing this, so we wanted to connect with other music people to do this.
Right.
None of us have illusions of grandeur, like we're going to be famous YouTubers or any of that crap.
Yeah,
so it's just funny though how like, you know, we know that we didn't want things to be so, you know, like scripted
rigid,
and whatever, you know.
Yeah,
but this is what you get sometimes
Yeah,
when you don't know what you're doing, or you're just literally doing for
Off the cuff,
2
man.
hours, 3 hours of just
Free-flowing.
free flowing.
Yeah.
There, random things pop in your head, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, I'm not editing that, but
Yeah.
that's okay. It's just funny because it's just, I don't know.
We apologize, viewer. We'll get back to paid programming.
Yeah.
Let's go to track
For
4.
real. Yeah, here back to Sonata Arctica. I hope I'm not ruining like someone's experience with this album. Like, I mean,
it's fine.
you know, this is a really cool album, and I just kind of just like weird day, you know.
Let's see what kind of fun things we got to say about this one.
Yeah. Alrighty. Here is It Will Fade. This one's actually a pretty cool song too.
This is the sort of wolf song of the
Yeah.
album. So they always have a wolf song
wolf
for
song,
each
yeah.
album. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this album really kind of starts ramping with every song.
It just as soon as it hits track 5, man, track 5 till like freaking the end of the album practically is freaking brilliant, you know. cool, you know. Alrighty, I guess it's my turn. That's a song, I always felt like that was one of the weaker songs in the album, but at the same time, it's not by any means like a bad song. Like, it's still an amazing song, but when compared to the rest, I always found that to be a weaker one.
Right.
Mostly because of that middle bit, like the first like 2 minutes, I'm like all in and it's going. And then it like slows down and it kind of loses me a little bit. But it's still pretty freaking awesome. And I like the whole idea of like, you have to like kind of get along with the pack to stay in the pack. You can't be a fudging weirdo, or you can't like, you know, you can't bite the hand that feeds or whatever. No. And to me, I think about the whole bear the winter burn, meaning like, well, if you're outside of the pack, you're not going to stay warm or whatever, you know, like, you know, where's your trust? Where's your whatever, you know, friends and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's kind of a cool concept. I give it a 9 though. But it's still a great freaking song.
Man, yeah, I'm thinking either a 9 or a 9.5. I do like it, like similarly to In Black and White. You know what? Can you change Paid in Full to a 9.5 for me?
Sure.
I feel like 10 is too high for that one. Oh man, I feel like this album is like an imperfect oddity, but I love it. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel weird about giving like 10s to some of these.
I'll drink to that.
You know, you know, like. I think It Won't Fade. I'll go with a 9 as well. I do feel like it's a little bit long. The chorus might not feel as strong as some of the other choruses. I still enjoy it, but the parts that really get me is like, you know, secrets of silence, the glow of the darkness, you brought in the daylight, you know, like, and there's moments when Yanni will go, you know, and like, I kind of wish he did a little bit more, like I wanted the talking part to get more and more cynical and crazy, you know, like, you know, and just start getting more and more wild or something. Yeah, but it feels a little bit subdued and just kind of going. But
they're
I don't
like,
know.
We will not wait for you.
We'll limbo forever.
You know, like, it just, it's a good, like, it's a good headbanging kind of song.
Things that you do will infect us too. Yeah, the world is lit. But then the chorus is a little bit of a letdown, I feel like.
Yeah,
you know,
it's good, but it could have been better or something.
Yeah, Batch, man. Maybe I'll give it an 8.5. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 because I do feel like there's some issues in terms of building intensity, but then not doing something with it, you know? Like, it kind of... There's parts of this song that kind of bother me a little bit, you know? But then when they build up and everything, I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. Just leave it a 9.
What if they change the... I'll change it back to a 9, Kevin. No, that's fine.
I apologize.
What if they made the chorus like more kind of melodic instead of kind of like, you know, they're going on these strong, somehow we are, you know, what if they did something that was just like, feel the one
more sing-songy and stuff. And some double bass, that would have been much
better. You know, like if it was a little bit more reoccurring melodies rather than
let's let you down. We can't see this. You can only
wait because it won't fit. I know the lyrics wouldn't have fit, but if they had something that was a little more memorable, a little more catchy,
honestly, a little bit more Reckoning Night. If this song was on Reckoning Night, you would have like a more more back the Tico choirs, you know,
the Tico choir,
like bring back the Tico choirs from
like having that like a recurring melody. Even with the main melody, would have given it a little more,
just a little more,
little flash, a little, like
watch Sonata is like, why don't you guys write your own damn song?
I know,
no, but I do feel like the chorus is a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, like if they had like threw in like little keyboards and stuff in there too, like to make it more. That way, it's more of a like a melody hook that gets stuck in your head. You know?
Right.
So,
what do you think,
Chad? As you can see, we've thought about this.
Yeah, holy death. I'm just like sitting here, I'm like, dude, what am I even going to say? What can I say, fellas?
It was pretty good.
yeah, I did. Like, I feel like it's kind of up there with number 1 for me, so I'm going to say a 7 on that one.
7.
Like, I didn't hate it. It wasn't super memorable. I did enjoy it while it was going, but it's it's already freaking gone.
Yeah.
And even you guys repeating parts, it's like it's just not even
coming at all.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
It's
No, I mean,
understandable.
for music that I'm not that familiar with, I don't have much to say other than that was pretty good. You know, like it's just
like
it's just the way it is. Yeah. All right, you guys ready for Under Your Tree?
Can change mine back to an 8.5. I think that's more. I feel like that's more fair. I feel like I do need to be a little bit more.
Like critical?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because dude, the Third Eye Blind.
yeah, dude, that was.
I still love that album though. So, and I love this album too. So,
Yeah.
what can I say?
Yeah.
Nostalgia, man. It's powerful.
There's really no defense for our actions.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
We're biased as hell, and what are you gonna do? All right, now this is where the album gets fudging legendary for me. Like these next songs are freaking yeah. You guys ready for Under Your Tree?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Fucking heartbreaking, but it's still a masterpiece.
Yeah, emotional as crap. If anything deserves a 10, it's freaking that one, man. I'm going to give it a 10. I love Under Your Tree. It's one of those songs that, like, you know, as I was, like, getting into this album and everything, when I understood what the song was about and everything, I was like, it hit me with a ton of bricks. And I was just, like, trying to show other people and stuff, be like, you know, and it's not like a traditional normal song, you know? Mm-hmm. It's kind of different, but the song is basically about this guy, you know, sounds like, you know, like a daughter or something, you know, like something like that. Like when they were born, they planted a tree, but they got like a terminal illness or something like that. So they're dying. And then it's like, you know, I guard your sleep at night and everything. I don't want to let go. And I like that line where he says something along the lines of like invested feelings or something.
In the one
like
that
in the one that I would outlast. You know, my little friend is getting tired, fading fast. Yeah. You know, it's like, and then it's like, you know, like I should have been ready, seen the nearing end, but I'll never let go. You know, it's like
that last line always gets me because it's like there is no way to really prepare for something like that, you know,
right.
And you're probably not ever gonna be able to let go of something like that, you know.
And I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
like the line where he says, "There's nothing good in this morning." I like that too because it's something like that would just be tragic for any parent, you know.
Right. Yeah, death, loss, you know, mortality. But like I think the song does a great job of also having something a little bit beautiful of like, you know, I made this tree, now you love this place and now you're gonna sleep under the tree.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And even the little like piano is kind of reverent. Like the song has a reverent feel for it, you know, like the way like it's a very reverent kind of melody. I think that's awesome.
The backing vocals on this did a phenomenal job. When they say like "when you were born" and then it goes back into the that's like my favorite moment of like the song. And just anyways, what do you think, Chad? Kind of a weird one, huh?
No, not weird, but just like
you might have to listen to it again.
Yeah, I would, because like even reading the lyrics, like you explaining it, I was like, oh, holy crap. Yeah, I wasn't kind of getting that. Man, you guys, this is not a good one for me.
That's all right.
6.5.
Let's move on. that's my favorite joke of but anyway, sorry.
Can I just read these lyrics real quick?
Yeah.
Like I'll read it really quick so that, you know, the listener knows. Yeah. The leaves they fall upon the day that makes a memory. Those pleading eyes echoing silently in me. The final nights I guard her sleep. I can do without. So he can do without sleep. The fear's down deep. There's nothing good in this morning. Oh, and I know invested feelings in the one I would outlast. My little friend is getting tired, fading fast. Did not want to see the signs of the dimming flame. I need to have more time. No, I don't want to let you go. Tonight I fear I'll say goodbye to my little friend. Don't want to let you go. The warmest heart I found, I lower into the ground. My tears forever with you, resting under your tree. You have always liked this place. It now belongs to you. I need to set you free and go on alone. One day, in my feeble timeline, you gave me your heart and stole mine. Tomorrows came too fast for me to hear your slow, silent goodbye. The kindest heart I found, I lowered into the ground. Your smile kept me alive back when the skies were still. You always liked this place. Now sleep under the tree. I plant here the day when you were born. I should have been ready, seen the nearing end. My little old friend, a child. That day I had to say goodbye and turn the bend, but I'll never let go.
Yeah, that makes me cry. That's such a damn it.
It's just such a good freaking song, man. Yeah. But it's a sleeper song.
Yeah, like, I think this no one ever talks about it. No, everyone talks about Tallulah and stuff, but like, dude, this is like one of their most like best heartbreaking ballads. Like, man, this is it's a beautiful freaking song. But, yeah, I just think that a lot of people that hear Unia get turned off of all of the chaos. And then they're missing a lot of good things that are in the album because they're like, this is just too bombastic and too many changes.
It's just not for me.
It's just not for me. And it's like, but there's some really good freaking songs on here if you don't give up too easy, you know.
Right. What score would you give it though, Chad?
I'm always gonna like their ballads. Let's go with an 8. Let's give it an 8.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cause like this album, like I said, man, you gotta spend time with it and like yeah. Now what do you give it, Ian?
Oh, I gave it a 10. Sorry, okay. I must have typed it.
You typed it, but you didn't share your thoughts.
My thoughts. What can I say, man? What can I say? Yeah, it's a beautiful freaking song. It's a masterpiece. Like,
Yeah.
I think that sure Tony Kakko has written some clunkers, shitload of money.
Right. Yeah.
But he's also written some. like, come on, man. But at the same time, it's like I understand like trying to write something that's more carefree. It's like you can't just write everything to be like freaking.
Yeah, they can't all be winners.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So it makes me appreciate when they do write something that is actually like I took the time into this song. Like I really, like these lyrics and just the melodies in it and stuff. I think it's just an awesome song.
Is Tony the only one that does lyrics then, or does anybody help?
I think so. I
don't know.
I thought Yanni did a little bit.
Okay.
But
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
he
know.
did My Celine.
I know he did My
wrote
Celine,
yeah.
but I don't know.
But I don't know about all the songs.
But I think he does do the lyrics usually because I'm pretty sure he does the lyrics like, if not all the time, most of the time probably. Yeah. This is Caleb. This is continuing the crazy stalker story and stuff. One thing that really hooked me and Kevin was Sonata Arctica's abilities to like storytell in songs, like Wildfire, White Pearl Black Oceans. All these songs had really like compelling stories and really like tragic characters or evil characters. Yeah, and it was just really cool. I love when music tells a story, I guess, So this is kind of continuing the story of that story.
The whole Caleb, don't say a word, all that stuff.
That stuff, yeah.
So here we go.
Here we go. Caleb, the song's freaking sick.
Yeah, dude.
There is a man in this world who has never smiled. You may know his tragedy, the later years, by heart. In the beginning there was a mother, father, and a
That
child.
piano is so good, man. Woo! So good, man.
Destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Known to us from this day on, like his father, Caleb.
His mother gave
So is that like a prequel to why Caleb's so fudged up?
Right, yeah, pretty much.
Little origin story.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's like a freaking supervillain origin story.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we only know his father's name, I guess. Like, I guess we don't know his name. Unless he was called Caleb also, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have to do some research.
I have to do some research.
So look this crap up.
I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, what do you give that song, Chad?
Oh man.
You know, child abuse. You know, raising a monster.
Yeah. And then the wife being like, you know, I'm holy, but then she'd be like secret evil also. You know?
Hiding things and whatever.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. That's crazy, man. He's got a weak neck.
He's got a weak
What are you
neck.
gonna do?
Oh, there's a little light at the end of the tunnel.
It wasn't a lie.
It wasn't hope. Everything would be fine one day. One debt to keep up the charade until the end.
And waltzing
together.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3,
Yeah, I don't know if
Don't worry, Chad. We'll say plenty.
I mean that's the thing. Like I don't know if I'm gonna give any 10s on this, but that's definitely a 9 for me, just because the little continuation. I know I like all the other songs, and I have to listen to this again, guys. Like so much stuff's just coming and going for me. It's just.
I love the riff section, the whole like him blah 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 blah, then going back to the da 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 da. You know, like that's just a really cool recurring riff to go back to every time he's like done talking. He's just like blah 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 blah. Back to the guitars. Da, 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 da. I don't know. It's just a cool. I love that. I think it's cool. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or should we get
You guys take it away?
Yeah. So the lyrics in that song are pretty cool. Like they're very like, you know, fudged up and stuff. But man, I love when like the choirs and stuff come in like at the end and stuff. Now I ring the bell to tell the world. Like the whole like accenting on certain notes and stuff is really cool. As well as like, of course, you know, the whole like switching to 3/4 time when you're saying waltzing together.
Waltzing together, going to 3/4.
So the music starts waltzing.
Text
you know?
painting, like
gosh,
101.
dang, they did it, man. They fucking did it, man.
You mentioned that you're gonna start waltzing in a song. You better start doing
Start
3/4.
waltzing, yeah. It's like that Waterboy song where it's like, your love is like trumpets, and then the saxophone starts playing. You're just like, like really? Like, come on, guys, are you fudging joking? Well, we'll save that album. I love that album, but that's like the worst,
goofball.
the worst, like in music history, the worst, like screwed up thing I've ever heard.
I get really frustrated with Journey's track 2 on Trial of Fire. That one really irks me.
Why? What did they do?
Drums of thunder. He says drums of thunder, and then the drums do not do drums of thunder. They're just like, you know,
They're just
cool
still
thing.
like,
Yeah.
oh, drums. Yeah,
It's like it's oh my goodness.
Bring the thunder.
That song really bothers me in terms of text painting.
Yeah.
Like when you say drums of thunder, I want to hear. You know what I mean? Because it's like
because you're like teeing it up perfectly.
You're teeing it up, and then the guys are still cruising along, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? Are you asleep?" And they freaking recorded that like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, dude.
Yeah. They're like, did anyone think to be like? And it's the same thing with that Waterboy song. It's like, maybe we should have just had a trumpet. I mean, we had a trumpet in an earlier song. Couldn't we have just had a trumpet in this song? Like, your love feels like trumpets, so we're gonna play saxophone. Like, it's just, it doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah.
But we're just saying that these guys at least get it. They get it that like, if we're gonna do something like lyrically, let's have the music follow it and be able to portray that kind of more. I think that's pretty freaking dope.
So you give it a 10, Ian?
10.
You're not mentioning what scores you're giving out. You're
sorry.
typing them in, but
10.
the viewer doesn't know what you're giving if you don't say anything.
10.
I give it a 10. Also, I think this song is a masterpiece. I love the way it starts. You know, in the beginning,
That piano is
I'm
so
like,
cool.
heck yeah, man! Like, and even when I first heard this album, I didn't like this album, but this song I've always loved because this song I got like right away. I understood it right away. You know, and I just. The part that I really love is whenever it goes into like, it's like it's something on lost hopes, all those kind words could only mean more now somehow. Yeah,
Lost
like
one more way back home.
the part when it leads into that and you've got that choir going on lost, like that moment like really like pulled me in and I do want to say this real quick too. Since Henrik Klingberg joined the band for like their fourth album, I feel like there's much more use of the Hammond organ, and I love that sound. Go back and listen to like track 1, Misplaced. That's a hard Hammond organ sound when you're listening to Misplaced, and I love that sound. I wish more like power metal bands and everything would use that organ kind of and they had it on here, especially with the outro. You know, and I love that Hammond organ sound, and
it gives it some power without sounding like Transylvania.
I mean,
know, like it ain't no Castlevania music. You know?
But like there's plenty of power metal where the synth is just like, you know, there's plenty of synth like that. But I want to hear more of that harder edge Hammond kind of sound, you know. And so just a minor gripe for me, like for power metal in general, they got to use Hammond organ much more in their key
more
sounds.
organ sounds.
Like it's just, anyways.
Yeah. You guys ready for the Vice?
Yeah. Let's do it.
This one is a weird one, Chad. Get ready.
Let's do it.
This is like Jenny's favorite on the album.
Dude, she always likes the weird ones.
I know, she always likes the weird songs.
She always likes the weird ones.
This song is awesome.
The lyrics are really cool. Like, yeah, we'll dig into that. But here is the Vice.
Little bass on the wheel.
Dude, I'm sorry, Chad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like-
This is such a. Like, I know this is a rough one for you. I'm sorry. We'll definitely do some ones that will be easier for you. You know, like
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Like
Just
yeah.
rough in the way that it's like, it's not familiar, and I almost have nothing to say. Like,
It's so all over the place too.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ian? You get to start on
I'm
this one.
giving it a 10. Giving it a 10 because I feel like it's so freaking imaginative. It's got so many freaking parts. Inside and bang, run into a needle. I hate, don't need anyone. Lights on, light. Like I love how they transition to all these parts. You know, number 9 out of 11 little litter mates, rotten apples all the way. Like it's very.
Queen.
It's very Queen.
Yeah.
It's very like
Yeah.
it's very riddly sounding or something.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
so.
like, what the fudge are you talking about?
Yeah.
Turn my weakness into a blah blah blah.
Yeah, to me, I feel like the song is like some story about like some evil ruler or something, and like he's like, I'm the best and whatever. But then there's one that keeps outsmarting me, and I've got to get him. Because he's like,
because there's that part when he's like, you know, I laid this snare to trap him, and you know, lying in wait and everything.
Number 9.
And then like, you know, one by one, 11 little litter mates annihilate. Only number 9 is not in sight. You know, so it's
hiding
like
while the moonlight eats the day.
So it's like he murdered all the other litter mates, but then
because he didn't want
9.
because he didn't want anyone threatening his throne, and number 9 is the only one that's too smart that
he's after my throne.
He's after my throne, yeah. And then he's like, I like when he says, "Kisses burn the paper thin wings away." Like that's kind of a cool line. I don't know what it means, but it sounds such a poetic as hell, you know. Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 10. I agree. It's wild and whimsical and all over the place.
Wild.
And it feels it just feels so like story like.
I like how he says, "I drank poison. I like the sign of the skull and whatever." You know, it's like drank poison, like the sign.
Sign
you know,
look cool.
The sign look cool. You know, I don't know. It's like it's a good like portrait of like good portrait of like a nefarious individual. You know, like don't trust me, don't you dare. I lie, cheat, and I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like, then you're gonna tell me tales about fidelity. Truth ain't safe with me. You know, like it's pretty cool. And then I think about the whole I turn my weakness into a fine profession means I turn my vices into like what profits me or what makes me rule or something.
You really gotta like to love this album. You really gotta get into it and understand it. You gotta dig. Yeah. It's not one that you can just listen to and be like, I got it. Like no, there's so much.
And you got to make up things in it to like justify to understand.
Well,
Don't put your own meaning. No, I'm messing.
What do you do?
I don't think we're reaching. I don't think we're like adding anything. Like I think we're saying what's
You're not making it better than it is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't see that at all.
It's like our interpretation of it, but I don't think that we're pulling words or ideas that are not like there in the words themselves.
Yeah, we're doing a great job.
Yeah, we're doing great.
What do you give this song, Chad?
I feel like I'm just saying numbers at this point.
It's a hard one to rate, man.
Yeah.
Like because it's the first time. It's hard to remember.
And I did like the zaniness of it. Like it was fun, but
not that fun.
and I can see myself actually going through this by myself too. So I'm gonna give like a little bit of higher ratings, but
I have a feeling this is an album that you'll listen to it like 5 or 10 times, and it's the 10th time or the 8th or 6th. I don't know, however long it takes. That all of a sudden it'll click, and you're like, man, this album's like awesome, and you can like sing along, and you know what's coming, and yeah. But I don't know when it'll click.
Yeah, I can't anticipate any of this crap. It's just like, we're going here, nope, we're going there, and it's like, okay.
I'll be honest with you though, like doing this whole album in its entirety is a bit daunting, you know. So even if you started off with like 3 songs from this album, and then you know, oh well, let me try out some more songs, like because like the problem is like there's certain albums like. I have certain albums that I would listen to, and I would just be like, oh, that's a little much. And then I'd put it on the back burner for like 6 months to a year, and I never got to learn the album. I had gone through it like 10 times over 10 years, and I'd want to get into the album, but I never did because it was just...
devote that time to
it. And it was,
by the time you listen again, you had already forgotten it.
And so whether you do the whole thing, or if you start with songs and like... Because sometimes there's a lot of albums that I got into where there was one highlight song, and I was like, oh man, I love that song. But let me, go through the album. Oh, track 3 came on again. Love that song. Yeah. And then it builds up from there, you know? So this might be one of those two. I don't know.
Let's do, I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
7.5.
I was gonna say
Like-
8.
8. Okay. Okay.
Oh wow!
I feel
Weren't
like
you
it
gonna
is- I
say
feel
like
like
a
it is up
9?
there
Or,
with-
no, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just trying
No,
to boost
8,
you up. To
8.
say,
Yeah,
yeah,
8.
Well,
yeah.
take it.
That sounds good to me. That's a pretty high score.
And then I gave Under the Tree an 8.
Yeah, Under the Tree is freaking great.
Man, what webs we weave.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Let's do this.
all right.
You know, Chad, I gotta say real quick, I told you we'll try and pick albums that'll be easier for you. But I've got a prog metal album.
Oh yeah. I already know, dude. I've been waiting for you to do your prog stuff. So it's coming.
So-
It's coming, man.
So, hey, Chad, this song is all about different dreams and stuff, you know. So this one you could kind of take the lyrics as like, yeah, it's just a bunch of crazy dreams, you know,
Crazy
like
dreams.
Yeah. So this is My Dreams, But a Drop of Fuel for a Nightmare, and man, this song is also a masterpiece.
So watch out.
So watch out.
Watch
homies.
out. Watch out now.
All right, here it is, track 8.
My painted face, I'm a clown, and I'm laughing while my dream turns into a nightmare. Fade away,
Don't
I'm asleep, not too deep. The walls
all that kind of stuff, the bombastic bit. I like that. That's so cool.
I'm falling awake.
I hate that, man.
I love that.
Like those dreams where you're falling and then you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
and it just landed, but I'm awake. And then the room turns like 45 degrees or whatever. I know, right? Like, you're like, wasn't my bed like spinning or something?
Yeah.
It's like,
What the hell happened
Yeah,
there?
it's so disorienting. You got the little cello at the end. Gosh dang. This song is really imaginative too. Woo!
Wild. Yeah, definitely an experimental one. I'm going to give this one a 10, of course.
Yeah.
I like Queen
Yeah.
on steroids. What can I say?
That is so crazy.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, but yeah, the drums are definitely like pretty like imaginative on this album. Like Tommy Portimo, like he definitely goes all out on this album with a lot of weird stuff, you know. But yeah, great song. I don't have much more to add, but like I like choirs, I like all that stuff, so it's easy for me to get into a song like this.
Yeah.
So.
And I like that the choirs are not typical power metal kind of choirs. Like they're very like loose, I guess.
Like
if that makes sense. Yeah. You know, because like a lot of power metal choirs is just like, to the rage and rain and fire,
right.
to the world we rage and see. You know, it's very, you know what I mean? Like these choirs are very, I don't know, Rodgers and Hammerstein. I don't know. They're just very different.
A little
or something.
Oklahoma.
And they're like saying la 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 la, you know, like they're just doing all this stuff that's like way more, you know, like it's not like normal, typical stuff, you know, for choirs to do. And I think it just sounds awesome.
I do feel like it, like this album, like I understand why power metal people hate this album. Like I totally get it because I feel like a lot of like the classical stuff coming from this album, it's not like all the just rocking out like Baroque freaking like, you know, do a bunch of notes and everything. It's just, I don't know, man, it's the more goofy stuff, you know. You know, and
I do love when the violin and I don't know if like the orchestral stuff is done on his keyboards or if they had orchestral
like
people. Like I can't even remember if I mean that cello at the end sounded like a real cello.
Right.
But I just don't like. Anyways, if Henrik did all of that on his keyboards, that would have been really freaking cool, you know? Because I love that part when the violin is like, and then the guitar's you know, like that's so cool going back and forth with the violin and the guitar. And I like the whole like, you know, woke up today, the good and the bad and the ugly dreams are gone. And then it's like, oh, I woke up, I'm good. Jumped off the carousel. That could mean he's still dreaming, or it could mean like, wow, I finally got off the freaking train ride where like numbers are talking to me, Shakespeare and Company won't kill the kitten, scratching me, you know, like you know, an ugly giant, a disappointed child. Like, gosh dang, there's just. It's like a bunch of wild, crazy dreams, you know? But I think the
lyrics definitely fit with the,
Yeah, the zaniness of it, And the whole theme of like, you know,
nothing makes sense.
Yeah, like, you know, at the end of the day, you are your own prison, you know? Like, that, you know, you could take a little bit of, you know, I don't know.
Like, if you have a bad dream, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
You know, because it's like, oh man, this nightmare is torturing me, and it's my own head, you know? It's me that is chasing me in my dreams, you know.
So what do you give this song, Chad?
Man, yeah. As far as like the choir stuff and a lot of like the classical instruments and orchestra stuff, like it's not my go-to definitely, but I think from like hanging out with you guys and listening to a lot more, it's kind of like certain stuff's growing on me. I wouldn't say it's like always my favorite or anything, but it has been growing on me. And yeah, just the whole zaniness of that song is just fun, dude. It's just all over the fudging place, and man, I'm trying to look at some of my other scores and see where I want to put it. Let's do a 7.5 on that one.
Yeah, one of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
And what do you?
At least,
but I mean, it's still a really high score. It's
your scores are actually a lot higher than I thought.
I haven't been getting like 5s or 6s.
I thought there'd be plenty of 5s. But you know, I mean,
like I guess like you could see why it's good.
But it's just I need to listen to it more and then get kind of like my own thoughts because I don't really feel like I have much to say. It's just kind of.
Yeah, I give it a 10. It's freaking awesome. I love the whole like. It reminds me a little bit of Camelot, their Memento Mori, where they like end with their beginning piece
Right,
and then they go on this huge adventure for 6 minutes or whatever. And I love how it just ends with that whole like, you know, my painted face, you know, that whole beginning bit. Like that's just a beautiful way to end the song, and yeah, just very adventurous, very imaginative, and just pretty dope.
Yeah. Agreed.
Move on to the Harvest.
Yeah, let's
Dude,
do it.
This song might have been one of the ones that kind of turned the album for me a little bit. Because I think that in the early days, I think I liked more like Under Your Tree, Caleb, Paid in Full. And then maybe like, I actually liked that number 8 a little early on.
Right.
But some of these other ones just weren't clicking at all. And I think this album was like, or this song was kind of like where it turned. And I was kind of like, wait a minute. Some of these other songs are actually like pretty cool. And, you know.
Started thinking like, oh, wow, they're doing something interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, this one, I really like this one. This one also is their fastest, probably.
Right.
The closest to power metal. But I say that hesitantly because it's still like so metal. Different, you know, and they got an acoustic bit in the middle. And, yeah. You guys ready for the Harvest?
Yeah.
Here goes.
The lyrics are cool in this one too. The way of days on me.
The drums are cool in this one too.
song, man. Freaking wild. Woo, dude. I can only imagine, like, people who don't know this album, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know?
The chorus, I really did like the chorus, dude. A world without virginity is just like saying, like, a nice way to say the world is fudged.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That was cool. Man, yeah, it's been a weird ride so far, guys.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of trouble like rating and calling back, and
Yeah.
I did enjoy that one. I'm
Definitely the heaviest.
Yeah, let's go with an 8 on that one. An 8.
Yeah. I love whenever they're just like, real bad wine. And it's just like quiet. Then he just starts soloing and crap. And that solo section, like, that might be one of my favorite solos on the album. Because I love how he's like, and then you hear like, it just starts busting out, and it's just like, it's so fun how they're just going buck wild on this song.
Yeah. I like that they go freaking wild on this one.
And Kako's going wild vocally. Like, everyone's going wild on this track, and it's just so cool. And the whole theme of, like, you know, disenchanted with love, and like, nothing's real anymore, and planting plastic grapes, no real bad wine, and you know, and it's just like, and then, you know, you show the bee where the flower is, and you let it die. It's just all jaded. The whole song's fucking jaded, but it's really cool. I give it a 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10. I give it a 10 too, because it's like singing a song about, like, you know, like man and woman, and, you know, coming together as one, and, you know, the bee and the flower, and, you know, the this and that, and then them just like turning it on its head and just being like, oh, fudge that, you know, like, it just. It is from the perspective of kind of a jade view on love and all that, but it cracks me up, the approach. Let me just put it that way. The way they approach jaded love, it's just really freaking hilarious. The way it's just, you know these plastic grapes, and, you know, it just
it's a really, like, interesting. That's the thing, is like, they'll talk about themes, but they'll do it in an interesting way that you've never heard other people say before, and it's like, I like that they're doing something different, you know. And I like the whole, like, wind has a friend in misery, and he does not want me in here. And the flowers are water it lovingly. It's just like water that's champagne or whatever. It's just like this. It's like, for a second they're like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and then it all just gets fudged up.
Dude, they're all like, that flower is so beautiful, but fatal. And, like, it's a fun freaking song. It's probably the funnest song on the album, I would say. So, and I do think that solo section is phenomenal. Tommy Portimo did a great job with the drums.
8.5.
It would be interesting, Chad, if, like, after we went through this, we went through it again. I know we won't, but if we did, your whole, like, perspective would be like, okay, the initial shock and the first reaction is gone.
It's gonna be easier to catch.
Like, you'll be able to, instead of just trying to just take it all in, you'll be like, okay, I'm getting it a little bit more.
Here's that.
I like when the song starts too. It feels like this guy just, like, starts the song off being like, hey, check out this big old chip on my shoulder. That's how the song, the weight of years on me.
Of days on me,
And then it just goes.
Can we just play a little bit of that song? Like, let's just play it again.
Beginning, like,
just play the whole song.
And then when like the verse part starts and everything, he's just so freaking bitter and so just jaded and stuff. It's funny, man.
It's a cool song. Like, it's got so much energy, and yet it's all like, I don't know, it's awesome. The weight of days on me.
The weight of days on me.
I kind of want to fast forward to that song. Oh, the solo section? Yeah, just a little bit of it. That is so cool.
Yeah,
I like
cool song.
I like how it's just like, Bring me to recover. I'm after it. And then you got the little keyboards doing like, na, 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 you know, like this, like this
Very
noisy,
haunting,
kind of just thing. Yeah,
it's a song that's most like in your face for sure.
Harvest of a lifetime, real bad.
Freaking wild song, man. But yeah, it's a good one.
Wild.
It's a good one.
You guys ready for the bonus track? Well, one of them.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here is To Create a Warlike Feel. I like this beat. What did we got here? Well, Sonata Arctica have a lot of anti-war songs and stuff, you know, and
some of them hit better than others.
Some of them hit better than others. I do like this one. Like, I like a lot of the sentiments and stuff, but a part of me feels like it wanders way too much. Like that beginning, like if they, I know they kind of do that in the chorus, like they kind of have that, but it's less pronounced. It's more like, you know. And I kind of wish that they had like a little bit more structure to the song. Granted, some of the other songs, I enjoy their travelings, but this one I feel like it travels like too much for me or something.
Like if they were like, on this day, all is lost, you know, then you have in the background, all is lost, you know, that would have been cool to have that complement it.
Like, so that it's more pronounced. But I still really love the song, and there's some moments like Tony Kakko's vocals are great on it, and I like the whole like, you know, 5 6 6 6 lucky 7, you know, like I think that part's pretty cool, and I think maybe a 9 for me. Still a really awesome song, but I don't know. I feel like it could have had more like of a punch or something, because I feel like the song does have weight to it, because the topic itself has weight to it, you know. But at the same time, I feel like it could have had more of an emotional punch, and it sounds a little bit too erratic and too like
all over the place.
That
not like the rest of the album. It's not all over the place, but, you know.
The rest of the album is like simple, you know. That song is weird though.
Really weird.
Nah. What do you think, Kevin?
I'm going to give it an 8. I do feel like the parts that are lacking the most for me, I feel like the guitarist is the most lacking in this song. You know, like, one issue I have with modern Sonata is a lot of just riffing, you know, whenever they're doing whatever they want to do. You know, and this song, I don't know if, like, Yanni was just like, I don't know what you want from me, guys. So there's a lot of just... And I don't feel like I'm, like, getting into any kind of groove or rhythm or anything. It feels like it's just there to be there because they didn't really know what they wanted to do. You know, so I love the guitarist, and I do like the guitar solo, but some of the rhythm section and rhythmic stuff could have been a little stronger, I feel like. But not much more to add. Take it away, Chad.
I think maybe I might be getting a little fatigued, but that one is probably my least favorite so far. I'm probably going to go with a 6.5 on that one. It's still better than average, but just, I don't know, kind of just came and went, but not like a...
Not like in a, that was really interesting.
Like, that was interesting. I wanted to latch on to that and just kind of, more
kind of
came
like,
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, we only have a couple more left. Here's The World's Forgotten, The World's Forbidden. Are you guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
This is another one that I didn't like at first, and I was like, now I fucking love it.
Oh, yeah.
I know. It's really but I was turned off this song when I first heard it. I was like, what are they doing? But I think it's cool now.
If you were my child, I'd carry you away. I'd travel through time before silence was born. No hope for the child. This world has gone bad. When Western day, the machines say, what is the man to do? No light, only suffering.
Oscar. Alrighty, cry for help.
I guess I go first. Yeah.
Yeah, your turn, bro.
I'm leaning between somewhere between 8.5 and 9.5 because I don't think this song's a masterpiece. I like what's going for this song.
Yeah.
But it just feels a bit limiting. Like there's not a lot to latch onto with this. I'll wait and see what you guys say, but I'm leaning towards like an 8.5 or a 9. But what do you think, Chad? It kind of just goes.
Guys, yeah, that was probably another 6.5 for me. Just kind of there like the last one.
There's not really
nothing really stood out, nothing to latch on-to.
Not really like a chorusy, it's kind of just there. It feels a bit like an interlude.
Yeah.
Almost. But
yeah, it was really short too. I wasn't expecting it to be that short.
Yeah. Like 2.5 minutes or something.
What do you think, Ian?
I think it's really cool. I like the vibe that they're going for. Like I like the atmosphere and stuff, and I like the vocal kind of like effects and stuff used. I think I might go a 9 as well. I think I'm going to create a warlike feel to an 8.5 because I do like this more than that one, but I don't, I think I'll give it a 9. I still really like it, and I find it kind of, I don't know, engaging because it's kind of atmospheric and stuff. It's very real moody, but yeah, it's one of the weaker ones on the album for me as well.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5. Yeah, not much to add though, but I still enjoy this song though.
Yeah. Fly with the Black Swan is one of the weaker ones for me as well too.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics, but the music itself.
And wait, these are all like extra songs on the album?
No,
or?
just to create a warlike feel, and They Follow are the 2 bonus songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything else is like the normal album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album for the normies.
Yeah.
Alrighty, you guys ready with Fly with the Black Swan?
Yeah.
Cry for help.
Cry for help.
Wild.
Cry for help.
You're like, why is Kevin an idiot saying cry for help?
I get it now.
Like, what the? Why is Kevin an idiot like to say cry for
Cry for
help?
help. We're all gonna walk around. Cry for help.
Cry for help.
Right.
You guys have...
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
Who will save you now?
tough one.
All right,
take it away,
Chad.
What'd you think of that one?
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot to say on this one.
And guys, on 11, it's gonna be a 6 on 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm being nice because it's Sonata. But
Yeah. So number 11 changed from 6.5
yeah,
to 6.
6.5 to 6.
Wait, what do you mean number? Oh, number 11.
Yeah,
yeah.
11.
Change
So-
this one to a
So
6.
then what about this
what
one?
about this one?
And this one, man, guys.
Don't worry, Chad. I'd understand if you gave it a 5.
Yeah,
I
it's a
understand.
five.
I understand.
It's a 5.
I understand if you gave it a 4 too. I get it.
A 5. That was just kind of there for me, guys.
Now let me ask you, Chad. Was it a little rude? Do you think a little below 5? Did it make you like unhappy to listen to?
It kind of did. I was just kind of like, yeah.
I know you miss like some of it.
I missed a little bit of it too. And like when I walked in, it wasn't like I was like, I guess I didn't miss much.
Yeah.
So the 5 is for us, but really what you're thinking is more of a 3 or a 4.
No, because it didn't cause me cringe or physical pain.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But yeah, maybe a 4.5, guys.
Yeah. A little below average. I do think this one's one of the weaker tracks.
Now, is a 4.5 too high? No, I do think it's the weaker one for me too. I love the idea of it, and I love like some of the lyrics are really cool. Like this idea that this guy's like, I was caught in an avalanche, I must have died, and then a black swan saved me. But now I'm working on the other side, and I've got to
sold your soul to the devil.
I sold my soul to the devil. Now I got to to buy myself time. I got to try to corrupt other people.
Someone else
have them fly on the black swan and steal their souls.
Okay.
And
all
to
that
me,
flew over your head like a black swan.
Yeah, just like Black Swan.
but that's because you missed the first little bit when they're
Right,
explaining
right.
what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
This song, the lyrics remind me of like a Sandman article. This sounds like something like Neil Gaiman would write. Here's a character, and he's just like, sitting in a freaking coffee house, and he's like talking to someone about, your soul, you don't need it, trying to.
What is it really?
And then he's like, I was in an avalanche, and I got to steal souls, and the guy like doesn't believe him, but then he's just like, well, if you don't believe me, then just give me your soul. Yeah. I 7.5, I think for me. It's definitely the weakest song for me. It's got some good things. It has some interesting stuff, but I really don't think they pull it off like they do with some of the other songs.
Can you change to create a warlike field for me? Can you put that to a 7.5?
Sure.
And let's go ahead and put this one as an 8 for me. I like it keeps me engaged. I like that aspect of it, but maybe put it at 7.5. I do feel like, again, I feel like some of the guitar work is just a little bit just too much chugging. Not enough melodic moments, not enough it just transitions from same thing to same thing a bit, it's trying to just get along with the lyrics to tell the story, but not focusing on the music delivery.
So you want
I feel like this is what people hear when they hear the rest of this album.
Yeah.
They hear this song where I'm like, I get it that it's not hard, it's hard to follow and it doesn't make sense. And they're like, yeah, but this song is exactly what the rest of the album sounds like to other people. Whereas the rest of the songs, I feel like, no, you got to give them time. This is one where I'm kind of like,
good luck,
man. It's fudge all, man. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, it's not a very easy song, and it's so crammed with vocal stuff that it's almost messy,
Right.
Yeah. And the vocal melodies aren't even cool. Like the Vice is crammed with vocal melodies, but it's very sing-songy, melodic, and it's going from cool idea to cool idea. Whereas this is going from pretty good idea. It's pretty good idea. I don't know. Maybe 7.5 is a little high for me.
I just feel but
the lyrics are cool though. I still find it engaging.
Talking about the story, I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. But
I like the song enough to memorize it and stuff. So it's I gotta have some enjoyment. It's not an average song for me. Otherwise, why the fudge did I memorize this song? I'm just ooh, caught in an avalanche. I must have died. It's just there's something about it that I do like about this song. It's just an odd
not
one.
an easy song.
Should
we move on to
of the creator? It's goofy. Yeah, let's move on.
Good enough is good enough. Well, that's good enough. Here we go. I like this one. This is a good ballad.
It is a good ballad.
And I know you like the ballads, so maybe this one will bring up the last few songs, because I think the last few are definitely kind of the weaker ones.
We can't forget
That's a cheat.
Minor.
Yeah. What a nut.
Yeah, what a nut.
Yeah, I like this song. That's a good one.
Yeah, you get to go first.
Seems like Tony Kakko's had his heart broken like at least 100 times.
You got it, a few times,
A little leaky.
enough to write some songs about it, Yeah, I like that song. I don't think it's a 10 because I don't find it like maybe as gripping as some of the other ballads and stuff, but it still is a really good song. And I like when he goes soft with his voice. I like the violin parts and stuff. It still is a really good song. And, the lyrics are pretty cool. I guess I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, so.
So what score do you give it?
Oh, 9.5.
Okay. Yeah, I give it a 9.5 also. It's close to perfect for me. I really like his lower register, when he says like, I had a dream. His lower register in this song is fantastic,
Yeah.
I just feel a bit like maybe it drags on a little bit whenever he's just like, I thought we almost made it, and everything. I feel like it drags maybe a little bit, but no, I still really like this song.
I'm going to go 9, actually. Like, it's weird because it's like... Other times that I've listened to this album, I've given much higher scores, and I feel like I'm giving lower than I have before in the past. But now I almost feel like maybe I'll level out with this album, to be honest. I don't know. I wonder if because I was so enamored with how interesting and crazy it was, like I wonder if everything was more inflated over the years since 2007. But I don't know. I still... There's moments where I'm just so enthralled and charmed by this album, and then there's some moments where I'm not. So it's hard to rate it accurately because of that. Because it could be in the mood, whatever mood you're in, it'll be higher or lower.
Good enough.
It feels like.
Yeah. Good enough is good enough for me. So
He's got a point there.
Yeah.
What do you give it, Chad?
I'm doing a 9. I'm a sucker for ballads, and I did like the lyrics. I like the piano. It's just a good ballad. Like, something I could. And that's the thing, like, I think I am going to spin this album on my own just to get a little bit more of a feel for it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering... let's go with that.
Yeah. Well, guys, we only have one more song left. They Follow.
Bonus track.
Japanese, yo. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I like the piano thing in this. It's cool.
It's kind of a waltz.
Yeah. This song feels like a breath of fresh air after the last 4 songs,
Teach myself ashes of life.
Kind of a cool way to end.
Outro,
Yeah, I like it too. I guess this is Chad's turn, I think, to begin, right?
Yeah.
Add up these scores.
Is it Chad's or is it my turn?
Oh, maybe it's yours.
Yeah, I think it's my turn.
Oh yeah, I went. All right.
Because Ian went.
Yeah, I went.
good
Yeah,
enough.
because I went last.
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so.
Kevin,
I'm gonna
your
give this
turn.
one a 9. I do like this song. I like the flow. I like the waltzy 3/4 feel throughout the song.
Yeah.
It drags on a little longer than I feel like it should, though. You know, I feel like it could have been cut a little shorter.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe one of the issues that this album has is a little bit like lyric cramming. I think that's one of the issues that this album has is like they have like more to say in the song. So instead of just
Leaving it like a 3-minute song.
like
They
then
drag it out to 5.
they drag it out and then like, you know, and so I think that might be one of the issues, but still a solid song. Like there's moments on this song that I really enjoy. I like when he says, you know, and fly towards the twilight of my life, and back into like creatures of the night they follow, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of a lackadaisical kind of
Yeah.
song, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. What do you think, Chad?
I'm gonna go with a 9 on that one too.
You're digging that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they followed the little vampire theme. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Little vampire-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 9.5. I do agree it does go on for a little bit too long, but I like the ending. And I love how it's just like, you know, some of us enjoy the rain, you know, and it's just like the way the acoustic guitar is just going, like, it has a cool feel. Like, I don't know, I really like the feel of the song. But halfway through, it starts losing me a tiny bit. But I still think it's a magical kind of melody, the whole, you know, na 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 na, you know, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Not much more to say, but I dig this album. I'm going to do the scores and stuff, so you guys could, you know, I don't know, talk about football, baseball. I don't know, talk about something.
Do you want me to go first with my closing thoughts, or do you want to go for?
I guess I'm not gonna have a whole ton to say, so you want me to go first, and we'll just kind of work our way down.
Yeah, and then we'll have Ian. You do the scores, and then close to the album.
Okay, so Sonata Arctica, Unia.
Woo!
Yeah,
What a day.
ugh, I don't even know, guys. I don't even know what just happened. What am I gonna? Yeah, definitely something I want to give more of a chance. I want to go through a little more. It's kind of a bummer, man. Just in the sense that like there wasn't a lot I was holding on to. There wasn't a lot I felt I could say about it. There was with Tony Kakko, I feel like there's always a lot of good lyrics, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
A lot of lyrics I liked. I do want to go through it myself, so I'm interested to see like what I think of it down the road.
Right.
And then I can talk to you guys about that, and we can, kind of fill that out. But for right now, weird album. Not bad, but just that's all I got, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like this is kind of a special little album that if you understand it and you get it, it's like, all right, you got it, you get it. But I don't know how good this album is for getting people like like if someone had never heard of Sonata Arctica, I would not start with this album. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Like I feel like this album is for the people that like really into Sonata and are open to experimentation with Sonata, you know? Because it's like when I hear the people that only love, heck, even just like the first two albums, you know, like I understand some of their gripes that they have with some of these later albums. Like I totally get it, you know. For me though, I like how interesting this album is. I like that it's a very daring album. And I feel like if you give it a chance and really dig into it, you'll find some really awesome music in this album. But it's just an album that I feel like it's like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of treasure it and love it like on my own, and then like that's good enough, you know. So you know, there's nothing really I can say to convince someone to get into this album. I feel like, you know, try it out, see if it is up your alley, and if you have that sort of ambitious kind of like, oh man, I want to get into this and I want, then, you know, you'll probably get into it and everything. But because it's not like totally inaccessible to get into, it's just it does take a little time. So
I wanted to pick this album because I feel like it is a little bit underappreciated with Sonata Arctica's kind of discography. It is pretty ambitious and it's experimental, and I do appreciate that with it. But it's not that I'm like only giving cool points because they're doing something different. Like I've listened to this album so much, and I've just always kind of like, well, not always, but over the years I've just really enjoyed the melodies and stuff that were on this thing, as well as the lyrics and kind of the storytelling and stuff. So for me, like I think it's an awesome album. But yeah, I agree with you guys. It's not an easy listen. We may have just done this for people that are also really hardcore into it, and they're like, yes, someone else loves this album too, you know. There may not be that many of people out there like that, but I love this album. I think it's dope. I'm going to say the scores real quick. So the lowest score that Chad gave was 7.64. The middle score was from Kevin. He gave it a 9.25, and the highest score was from me. It was a 9.42. And the overall score that we gave this album was 8.77. So pretty high. I feel like we've kind of already said our piece about this album. You know, give it a chance. Well, give it a lot of chances. And then you might enjoy it, you know. But if you're looking for something challenging, if you're looking for something that's pretty dense, this is a really great one to go to, because something like Pariah's Child or like Ecliptica, those are a little bit more straightforward. You might enjoy those more. But yeah, if you want to venture into the unknown, then give Unia a chance. So I guess that's all we've got. So thank you for joining us. It was a weird journey, weird day, weird everything, but Sonata Arctica is really dope. Man. So
and I've got the next pick, so I'm gonna pick a prog metal album, and so watch out.
Watch out, yeah. So anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for joining us, and let's get off this couch.
Yeah.